And now we are joined by Nourhan El-Sheikh, a political science professor, to explore the military and strategic dynamics on the ground. Welcome.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to have you with us. With the Israeli military now engaging in ground operations in southern Lebanon, do you think this marks a shift in their border military strategy? And what implications might this have for Hezbollah's long-term position in Lebanon?
Israel, unfortunately, is going to that ground operation in clear and very dangerous violation for Lebanese sovereignty and creating additional humanitarian disaster to what is still exists in Gaza. That situation serves only the interests of Netanyahu as a person and as a politician, but for all the region it is a disaster by all means, humanitarian means and political and strategic means. Unfortunately, the international community is up to the date is just still watching what is going on without any concrete steps to stop it. All countries asking Iran not to involve in the conflict, but no one is actually pressure seriously upon Israel to stop what is going on. And the most important thing that the United States itself declared its understanding to what is going on and the need for Israel and the priorities of Israel to...
But the United States always says but never acts.
Exactly, and this is the problem. Because the Security Council of UN is now useless, almost useless. We couldn't do anything against what is going on because the veto of the United States. So I think this is a very dangerous situation, and it needs really for the international community to have an urgent session for Security Council, not just to discuss what is going on, or to complain or something like that, but to take a resolution and a decision under Chapter 7 to stop the war and to have a ceasefire immediately.
So you want a ceasefire as soon as possible, and you want a Security Council as soon as possible to be held to reach a solution and a ceasefire. Let's move on to the assassination of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, and most of the leadership has undoubtedly shaken the organization, of course, after his death. How do you see Hezbollah navigating its leadership vacuum, and could this moment of uncertainty shift the political landscape within Lebanon?
Of course, the assassination of Nasrallah was a very strong hit to Hezbollah. But Hezbollah is not a person. It is a huge organization.
Exactly.
So if Nasrallah disappear, it doesn't mean that Hezbollah also disappear. So I think.
So yes. So you're Nourhan, you're optimistic about Hezbollah, and they're gonna be picking up again as soon as possible.
Maybe it is not what some people expect to react from Hezbollah because of.
What's your vision at this point?
Because of course what happened eliminates its ability, its organization. Yes, it eliminates a little bit or stop somehow, but it doesn't finish Hezbollah or end.
It will never end it, but the vacuum that's taking place at this point, which is very frightening.
There is the deputy of Hezbollah still exists. The one who should be nominated, Hashim Safiuddin, also one of the leaders. So there is no complete vacuum. Yes, Nasrallah was a very strong person and leading Hezbollah for 3 decades. So he has special capabilities in that. But if he disappeared, we still have many and we had plans already to how to react to Israel. So maybe it is not what people, or as some people expected, with not very strong reaction, but it would have some steps against Israel that will complicate more and more the situation.
Okay, Lebanon is facing a humanitarian disaster at this point, with over 1 million people displaced and thousands of casualties. How are the Lebanese government and international aid organization responding to this crisis at this point? Are these efforts sufficient given the scale of this conflict?
You may know that Lebanon is not, up to the date, there is no president to Lebanon, and the government facing a huge challenges and difficulties, actually. So we cannot expect that much from the government, because there are also, still we had economic problems and other social problems in Lebanon without solving up to the date. And it is for years it is exists. So the humanitarian disaster.
But it's still worrying, Ms. Nourhan, that at this point Lebanon's economy is devastated as well. So it's very difficult for Lebanon to pick up at this point.
There is no any indication to that Lebanon would be able to recover from such economic difficulties. Still, the problems is there and getting more and more complicated.
They're not problems; they're beyond problems. They're crises.
Yes, that's right, and also the government seems that it hasn't any plans or any vision to deal either with economic difficulties or with the humanitarian disaster.
Why do you think the government hasn't a vision to deal with what's happening? Maybe because it happened suddenly and quickly, and it was really escalated at one point.
The problem is the capabilities. The capabilities of the government is not giving it that much space to maneuver or to be able to overcome all that difficulty. Lebanon is not that much rich country or having not that much capabilities. It depends mainly on tourism, and it is stopped for years. There is no any. That sector completely shut down for years. So it really facing difficulties, and it really needs, particularly European one, and especially France. France, it is mainly the one who you could consider as a partner for Lebanon.
Okay, let me ask you another question, Ms. Nourhan. Hezbollah has claimed that they are ready for a ground confrontation with Israeli forces. In your view, how prepared are they for such a sustained military engagement, especially in light of the recent losses, of course?
They are working as guerrilla wars. Guerrilla wars all over the history, having their own tools, their own techniques, and nobody can overcome totally them or completely destroy them all over the history, in any country, by the way, not Hezbollah. So the guerrilla, or what we call strategically as the underdog strategies, it's effective in many cases, worldwide, and I think they are following the same strategy of guerrilla or underdog strategies, which is very effective.